spend is here to stay. I'm sure you've heard this said many times, but what I'm trying to say here is we would actually recommend that you do move forward and embrace and get an initiative in place to help put together a right solution for your organization. We have the discussions with several of our clients where we understand that given the lack of clarity of the sunshine requirements, they're not sure how to move forward. But the bottom line, it seems like the need for collating all of this spend data into one place is a must. So the sooner you get started with that kind of an initiative, it would put you in a much better position in the months to come. Definitely, the second thing I would add is the complexities. Another reason why we would recommend that you get started sooner. The range of these vary from anywhere from the fundamental data quality kind of issues, like the Dr. Bill Jones and Dr. William Jones that Ashish referred to. This could actually lead to events where you're reporting actual expenses differently for Bill Jones versus William Jones as two different doctors, in which case you don't even know that, or the system would not alert that there is a limit that's been exceeded or anything like that. But if, on the contrary, if there were two different William Jones and for whatever reason they got reported as the same doctor, that definitely would start to result in a bunch of inquiries from these healthcare professionals asking to figure out why they are being reported as having participated in say, an advisory board or something, which they weren't. And all of this will require the system to be prepared to make corrections and adjustments as needed, and process to receive these inquiries and query and report back to ensure that these are appropriately addressed. So definitely don't underestimate the amount of complexity that you would have to deal with, and that's another reason why I said starting sooner would put you in a much better shape to address these. Definitely think about your future business needs while you're designing this. This is like pretty much for anything else. It is much easier to incorporate these future needs, if you will, during your early stages, say the planning analysis phase, and can potentially be a much harder thing to do to bolt it on at a later stage. The spend optimization thing, we've actually seen a bunch of success around this, and so I believe this is definitely worth a shot. Well, what I mean by saying this, to quickly recap what I had mentioned earlier, beyond just the compliance side of things that you could get out of a spend repository, the spend optimization kind of effect is fairly useful to highlight to senior executives, especially this does resonate with the commercial folks. Again, commercial folks having a lot more budget than the compliance folks, they become a good candidate to get a buy-in from, if you will. So definitely worth a shot to use that case. And then the last point was fairly self-explanatory, reaping the benefits, if you will, of this the spend optimization. It's basically helping organizations get a better value out of all of their spend, and so better visibility and understanding directly leads to actions which lead to better value, if you will. With that, to the last part of our slides or our presentation today, I'll hand this back to Christy. Christy?
Thank you, Harnath, and thank you, Ashish. We really what I'd like to do now is open this up to Q&A. And before I take some of the questions that have come in throughout the session, I do want to say that one of the questions that we typically get with, you know, my organization is not the same as every other organization, where do we start? And so what we'd like to offer to everyone who's had a chance to sit through one of our sessions is really a personalized 1-hour needs assessment. You know, we would sit down with you, listen to your current issues, your current environment, and help to recommend your best starting point, the best next steps. So I want to let everybody know that is available to record this 1-hour call. Just simply email me or call me at the numbers listed on the screen. And I will also be sending you this information via email after the session. So that's addressing one of the first questions we get. Now I'd like to open it up and just let you chat in your questions. Again, the chat button is located at the bottom right of your screen. If you can't see it, just maximize your current slide view, and then you'll see a red arrow that points you back down to the chat. So if there are any other questions, go ahead and chat them in. In the meantime, we do have a couple that have come in here. Also, I wanted to let you know that our speaker from last week's session, Kim Life, who is an attorney with Life & Moran, a life sciences legal boutique, is also on the line to address. So first question I have here for you guys, Harnath and Ashish, is, do I need to have a full-blown master data management solution for this initiative?
Sure, I can take that. So I wouldn't say that you need a full-blown master data solution that goes across the entire organization, which in itself is a pretty big beast. But what I would say is it is important and critical that you get the right kind of association of all of your spend or expenses to the right physicians or HCOs, if you will. So it is important. It will lead to a lot of additional rework and all of these inquiries, which is again from, say, the healthcare professionals about incorrectly reported spend, does lead to a lot of effort and a lot of reconciliation, fixing, etc. So the takeaway I would recommend is make sure that you do have at least around the physicians a good set of master data approaches. It does not have to be a fancy solution, but it has to at least accommodate for associating with the right kind of expenses, deduplicating the ones that are different, or merging them if they are reported differently versus separating them out if they are incorrectly merged, if you would. So yes, this should be seen as an important ingredient to an aggregate spend solution.
Okay, thank you. The next question I have is, which functional business area should own the solution, recognizing that there are multiple stakeholders, but that the solution shouldn't be run by committee, et cetera? So what is your recommendation on where it should be owned? And maybe that's a question Kim could comment on as well.
Yeah, this is, go ahead, Hannah. We're going to polite our audience to death. This is a question that we get really frequently at conferences, and a lot of companies are grappling with this. My recommendation, and I'm getting beaten up by a few compliance departments for it, but is to have it sit in compliance, because so many of the issues are compliance related. Now, granted, there has to be a very strong connection to your IT and your finance departments. But generally, these most of the questions that come up and most of the issues that come up tend to be compliance related. Okay.
Thanks, Kim. The next question I have here is, do you believe that 21 CFR Part 11 applies to technology solutions related to aggregate spend?
I think that would be a thing that Kim would be able to address.
Is that something that you're familiar with now, or would you need to look at it further?
I'd have to look at it further. A lot of this has to do with the GXP environment. We need to look at that and look at it further. If the person who asked the question wants to call into us later, I'd be glad to have a conversation with them offline.
Okay. Great. It looks like those are the key questions that have come in at this point. If anyone has anything else, feel free to chat it in. We'll wait just a few more moments here. And just a reminder, we will be sending out a copy of the presentation as well as a link to the full recordings to everyone who attended. So look for those in the next few hours. And I don't see anything else coming in at the moment. So with that, we will go ahead and wrap up, and we appreciate everyone's time today. We know you're very busy, and we appreciate you taking the time to attend our webinar. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Are we off the air?